So this is the 2014 Leave Insert Ordinary Level Paper 1, and we're looking at question number 6. The general term of an arithmetic sequence is Tn equals 15 minus 2n, where n is an element of the set of natural numbers. Part A1 says write down the first three terms of the sequence. Okay, well the first three terms of the sequence would be T1, T2, and T3. So if we're given Tn, we just substitute 1 in for n. So that's going to be 15 minus 2 times 1. T2 will be 15 minus 2 times 2. And T3 will be 15 minus 2 times 3. In other words, what we're doing here is the n, which is in here, is getting replaced by the 1, or the 2, or the 3 in each case. Okay, so that's going to give us 15 minus 2 ones is 13. 15 minus 2 twos, which is 4, is 11. And 15 minus 2 threes, which is 6, is 9. So that's the first three terms of the sequence. Part 2 says find the first negative term of the sequence. Okay, well, if the sequence looks like this to begin with, we want the first negative term. So we're just going to continue this sequence. So we can see as we go along, we're going down in twos, minus 2, minus 2. So we keep going down in twos, we get 7, 5, 3, 1, and then we get negative 1. So the first negative term is minus 1. Part B1 says find Sn, which is equal to T1 plus T2 plus all the way up to plus Tn, the sum of the first n terms of the series in terms of n. So we're finding Sn, the sum of the first n terms. So this is a arithmetic sequence because we're adding the terms as we go along. So Sn then would be this formula here, which is taken from the tables book. Sn is equal to n over 2 times 2 times a. So a will be the first term of the sequence. And d will be the common difference of the sequence. So a is the first term. So our first term in the sequence was 13, and the common difference then was minus 2 because we're going down in twos. So a is 13 and d is negative 2. So that's these values here that we're going to sub them in then. I'm going to sub the a value here in there, and we're going to sub the d value here in here. The n we're going to leave alone because it asks us to give our answer in terms of n. So n over 2 multiplied by 2 by a, which is 13, plus n minus 1 times d, which is negative 2. So there again, just to be clear, the a value 13 has gone in there, and the d value has gone at the end. So now I'm going to tidy this up. I get S of n is equal to n over 2, bracket 2 13s is 26. Now the minus 2 gets multiplied by each of these terms here. Minus 2 by n is minus 2n. Minus 2 by minus 1 is plus 2. So I get Sn is equal to n over 2, bracket. The 26 and the plus 2 go together to give me 28 minus 2n. So that's Sn. Part 2 then says find the value of n for which the sum of the first n terms of the series, which we've just done, is 0. So we're going to let this then equal to 0. We're going to let n over 2 bracket 28 minus 2n. We're going to let that be equal to 0. So what we can do here then is we can multiply across by 2 first of all, to get rid of this 2 here. So that gives me n bracket 28 minus 2n equals 0 by 2 is still 0. So I've got two things multiplied to give 0. So n multiplied by this bracket is 0. Well, that means that either n itself is 0 or the 28 minus 2n is 0. Now, if n is 0, that means there was no terms at all. So we can disregard that one. So we're going to solve this now. Bring the minus 2n over here. Becomes positive 2n. So we get 28 equals 2n. Now I'm going to divide both sides by 2 because that's the number in front of the unknown. They cancel on this side. And over here you get 28 over 2, which is 14. So n is equal to 14. So that's the value of n for which the sum of the first n terms is equal to 0. So that's my answer. And that's the end of part B and the end of question 6.